Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to the Giants Rundown for Saturday, February 26th from Scottsdale Stadium. I'm Andrew Baggerly, and busy day here. It was Dodgers versus Giants, and it doesn't really count in the standings at all, but I definitely heard some beat LA from the fans here, and an 8-3 victory for the Giants. So a good outcome, and guys still swinging the bat, looking very good. Pablo Sandoval with a home run, the first homer by a Giant this spring, and it came on the first pitch. He said he was looking for a cutter. That's what Oscar Villarreal had thrown to Andres Torres and Aubrey Huff earlier in the inning. So, Pablo realizes that even though he's trying to see pitches, he didn't play winter ball. He's trying to be patient, work counts. He still knows that the year he hit 330, he hit almost 360 on the first pitch, and jumping on that first pitch when he gets something good is an aggressive tendency that the Giants don't want to take away from him. That's part of what makes him a good hitter. So he sort of zeroed in on a pitch that he might get. He got that cutter, and he hit it out of the ballpark. So an encouraging sign for him. He also had a single on the first pitch, and he's taken some pitches with 2 strikes in his earlier at-bats, both today and yesterday. So it's an ongoing process with him, but he looks to be in better condition physically and mentally. Mark DeRosa had 3 hits. He's 4 for 5. His only out has been a line out to center field. Definitely got a couple to fall in today. They weren't all hard hit, but says his wrist is feeling good, and he's a guy who he knows he has to have a big spring to win a starting job back on this team somewhere on the field. He said basically we're bringing everybody back off a World Series winner, so and he wasn't a part of it after getting wrist surgery last year. So he's definitely motivated, and so is Sandoval, and those are 2 guys. If they're producing, then it's really going to have a big effect on the Giants' offense. In terms of what's coming up in the paper that I was writing for today, this report is a little bit late today because I was tied up finishing the Sunday feature. That's on Brandon Belt, although it's mostly about how Brandon Belt came to be a Giant and came to be on their draft board and was taken in the 5th round, which is quite a bit higher than where he had expected to go. And it really gives you and I a good vehicle to learn about somebody in the Giants front office who's been there since 1993, was one of Brian Sabean's first hires when he came over from the Yankees to head up the scouting department here in San Francisco. And that's a guy by the name of Doug Mapson, who is the Giants' national cross-checker and is really well known in scouting circles, and is one of Sabean's most trusted advisors and employees. So somebody you probably haven't heard about, but someone who brings a lot to the organization, and along with the local scout, the area scout, a guy by the name of Todd Thomas in that area of Texas, and also the regional scout. They had good reports, and Mapson followed up, and he really went to bat for Brandon Belt and saw a lot more than a kid with a metal bat swing, and some questionable power. He thought that he liked the athleticism, and he thought that the player development people could give him the tools to really compete against pro pitching, and he's done more than that, obviously, if you followed what Brandon Belt has done since they drafted him in the 5th round in 2009. So check out that feature for all the details on that. The notebook leads off with Don Mattingly. I caught up with him. He was gracious enough to talk about the game in July last year when Bruce Bochy caught him doing a double back to the mound. If you remember that game, I think you might agree that the Bay Area Giants fans started seeing Bruce Bochy in a different light right with that game, and obviously it carried right through to the postseason, and so many moves that he made were right on. But I really think that Bochy sort of moved the needle in his popularity in the Bay Area with that game where he sort of outfoxed Mattingly, and I thought it'd be interesting to see what he might say now that these 2 guys are going to be, running the dugouts in the biggest rivalry on the West Coast, one of the biggest rivalries in baseball. So check out the notebook for that and for all the other updates. I'll tell you real quickly that Brian Wilson threw live batting practice, first time he's faced hitters all spring. He did that this morning. Travis Ishikawa stood in, said he's nasty, cutter was good, velocity was pretty good, and he can see why no one wants to face him. I just give Travis credit for keeping a straight face when he looks out at the mound at that big old bushy beard, and definitely it's got to be different for like Ishikawa to see it from that perspective. Freddie Sanchez also was part of that hitting group and was allowed to swing the bat. Kind of a tough first assignment to be allowed to swing the bat in live BP for the first time, but he was able to swing the bat and didn't really get to see if he made a lot of contact. Bochy said they had some good confrontations, and he was very diplomatic. He just called it a tie. So, good on Boch for being diplomatic, I suppose. But we'll see Sanchez against live pitching, opposing pitching soon enough. Bochy said that it could be as early as Tuesday that he'll be in a Cactus League game, and it's possible Wilson's next assignment could also be in a Cactus League game, although I kind of suspect that he may have one more batting practice session before they really let him go. One funny moment, when we were going down, we go to the clubhouse in the middle of games when some of the starters are ready to be interviewed. So we were talking to Jonathan Sanchez in the third inning of the game today, and Clayton Tanner's name was announced just as I was going into the clubhouse. And so we're talking to Sanchez. We're down there for maybe a minute and a half, and I look behind me, and there's Tanner walking into the bathroom. And I thought, well, wait a second, shouldn't he be out on the mound? And Lincecum walks by and he says 8 pitches. He got out of that inning on 8 pitches, and apparently Lincecum found that a little bit annoying since his first inning, obviously, yesterday didn't go so smoothly. And I think Tanner only needed about 10 or 12 pitches to get through his second inning. So, he's a guy, he's local guy. He's from Walnut Creek, went to De La Salle, and we've talked a lot about how the Giants don't have a whole lot of upper minor league options for their rotation, but he's a guy, if he throws strikes and he's got a little bit of deception, and maybe he's a guy who could factor in, and if the Giants do need a pitcher at some point this season, somebody in their starting 5 can't make a turn, maybe he'll do what he needs to do at Fresno and put himself in position to be that guy. So a nice kid. It's been nice getting to know him this spring, and certainly had a nice debut. One other note on Pablo Sandoval, he's had a couple of ground balls already this spring that have ticked off his glove. Certainly doesn't have his timing down. The infields are pretty hard here, and he had a really bad hop on the one today. Just wasn't able to stay with it. He still went up to Shane Lux, the pitcher, and apologized. He said he just couldn't see it, which may have been possible as the dirt dries out and gets really light. Although Aubrey Huff deserves credit because very next batter, a wicked bad hop to him, and he short hopped it, stayed with it, and he got the force at first base to get out of the inning. So credit Huff there. Otherwise, Andres Torres had 2 hits. He looked good. Charlie Culberson, the young second baseman, made a nice play in the field, and the Giants ended up winning another game. So you'd rather win them than lose them. Again, the result doesn't matter that much, but they'll take an 8-3 win over the Dodgers any day. So that's about it for today. Hope you check out the stories and everything else, and we will check in with you from Salt River Fields tomorrow. Good night. Thanks for watching.